Hello everyone, it's me, Beau. Today I'm going to be showing you the #1 way of purifying water when you're out in the wilderness. Now you see that mountain in the background, that is Mount Rainier. I attempt to climb that at least once a year, and as well as traveling to 35 countries around the world. So let's just say that there's a thing or two that I know about purifying water and not getting sick in some of these atypical places. Now, first of all, this is also an unboxing to actually show you what you get in the box if in fact you were to buy a Sawyer squeeze. And yes, spoiler alert, this is what I would recommend over any other ways to purify water, especially out in the wilderness or in a foreign country. First of all, it's extremely lightweight. It also does not require any batteries, unlike the MSR Myox or the SteriPens. Those are the Myox purifier is a chemical-based purification system. It used to be my favorite because it's so lightweight. And then this came along and I realized that this is basically a life straw, except you hook it up to a bag. Now, I would not actually recommend the life straw because if you've ever tried to use a life straw, your head is shaking as you're trying to suck through this straw and get water through. And instead of trying to use your body to create that pressure, instead you're creating the pressure using a bag, and I'm going to show you exactly how this works. Now, first of all, there's an inline tube. You probably won't need that. That's like for camelbacks, for example, and some inline adapters as well. This is the main thing that you're looking for right here. It's so lightweight. And there's a whole bunch of filters and membranes within here, and it purifies everything. I've never ever gotten sick from actually filtering anything with that. Now, it is essential that, a syringe, we'll cover that in just a second. Now, it is essential that you use one of the included bags. These bags are pretty tough. I've only had one burst on me, and that's after many uses. So I typically carry 2 with me, which 2 are provided. And essentially you're going to put the dirty water in this. And then after you fill this up, so I'm just gonna simulate that it's full, and then you are going to get those threads right there and screw it onto the bag full of dirty water. And then when you flick this top like this, you squeeze, and you can even kind of roll it like a bunch of like a toothpaste tube, and it flows out. Sometimes it even just kind of trickles out depending on how dirty the water is. Now, obviously, if you're up on Mount Rainier and if you have glacier silt, which are very fine particles of ground up rock, it's almost like it's flour, and that is within the water itself. And I was actually just up on Mount Rainier purifying this glacier water that was melted literally 10 seconds beforehand. You don't have to wait to boil it, because when you boil it, you still get all that sediment in there. This filters out all of the sediment as well. Now, when you get back home after your mission trip or your mountaineering excursion, you're gonna want to back flush this, because as you get all of that sediment trapped within these little membranes right here, they're being trapped. You're going to want to fill up this with clean water, and you're going to want to plug it in, and you're going to want to force all of that sediment out of there. And if you've been purifying water from muddy water, then you're gonna get this muddy water coming out. Now, it is imperative that you're careful with this thing, because I have actually cracked this before. The people at sawyersqueeze were actually really cool. I contacted them and I said, hey, I'm having difficulty with this. There we go, it's a bit windy right there. So I take this off like so, and then you get the syringe and you pop it on like here, and then you fill that full of clean water and you back flush it, and all that dirty water comes out. Then you're gonna be ready for your next trip to fill this full of dirty water, and you're gonna continue, okay? So it is imperative that you do back flush it and clean it out. Otherwise, you're going to be out in the wilderness and it's gonna be extremely frustrating. I have put all of my weight on this thing and have not been able to get any water out, and that's because it was all clogged up. So back flush it, make sure it is pure, make sure it is clean. Any other accessories that come in here, you've got caps and whatnot. You don't really care about these. This is the little inline adapter that you would put into your platypus or camelback. Also comes with a handy little mesh bag, which actually it is handy to keep everything contained, because I have lost some of these little elements in shale and rocks, because you're kind of balanced and perched up in a precarious position as you're trying to fill up some of this water sometimes from open mountain streams. And that's lastly the best part about this thing, is that there's no manual pump that you have to do this as you're swatting at mosquitoes and you're trying to pump just a little bit of water out little by little. Instead, you can fill this up and you can go into the comfort of your own tent and you can filter water in there. So fill that up full of dirty water, get a clean water bottle, and there's your water. This thing is absolutely amazing. Incredibly lightweight, no batteries needed. Just make sure that you back flush it so that it is pure and clean and all those membranes and filters are ready to rock and roll. My absolute favorite, the Sawyer Squeeze.